Okay, let's talk about clinical experience as a pre-med and don't mind Mocha because again, I was trying to make this video and she was like, nope, I need to be with mommy. So let's talk about it. So the first thing I want to say about clinical experience is that you don't have to get a certification. I will say that if you can get a certification, I think it would be an amazing opportunity and experience. Like if you have the time and the money to do it, then yes, you should do like CNA or EMT or medical scribe or MA. But if you do not have the time or the money to do it, again, this process is extremely expensive. Your Girls Got You. I am a hospice volunteer, and that's why I wanted to tell people about this opportunity because someone was asking me the other day, like, what is that? And so I wanted to make a video to let you guys know about this, that you can do it, right? Like, you don't need a certification. Usually you can begin pretty fairly quickly. Again, because you're going to be dealing with patients, you need to, have a background check. I think I had to do a TB shot or screening or something. Again, they do the background check as well. And I was able to start. So, in general, this is what I would say about hospice volunteering. So hospice, remember, you're dealing with people that are like at end stages of life. And so usually they are very declined. And so now your role really varies depending on the facility that you're at or the patient that you have. And what I mean by that is, for example, if your patient doesn't want to really interact, your involvement could be more of like just being there with them and being present with them. And again, that can go a really long way. Some patients, their family don't visit them. Like they just are there almost always alone. And it's not to like, judge the family at all. No, I'm not saying it because of that. But I just wanted people to be aware a lot of times they are alone. And again, it could be because their family is just, they live in another city, in another state. Or again, they have their own family and so they are, working full time. They have kids. And again, they're just not able to visit as frequently. So that is to say, sometimes you can meet the family. Like there are families that they meet every week. There are families that they don't meet for months. And so I want to say that because as a hospice volunteer, there are times that you can interact with the family. And again, that really depends on the family. If you happen to be there and they come and stop by, sometimes they can give you the life story of the patient and like give you more detail of like how the patient was and what they used to do and all of that. Or they could be very reserved and, want their privacy, which is completely respectable and like understandable. So again, your job as a hospice volunteer is to be very supportive, right? But other times your patient, for example, if they're not as declined, and they are like semi-active, like, your role could be just talking to the patient, right? And so just being there with the patient, talking to them about random things, their life story, their life histories, it can be incredibly like rewarding and like sweet to spend time with them and just to see their faces light up and you lighting up their day and they're lighting up yours, Something else could be like maybe they just want to watch TV that day, and they are very tired. Again, just spend time and watch TV with them. Other times it could be doing crafts or activities or puzzles or things of that nature with them. I've even like painted their nails before for residents. And so again, it's the small things you could do like just to make them feel like loved, cared for, noticed. And so your role can really vary. And again, I didn't do nails at every facility. I did it at one facility and it was very minimal. It was just like, put the like acetone, take off their nail polish, and again, put on a different color, like nothing like fancy. I'm not doing acrylics, y'all, but like, it could just be something very simple. Or for example, it could be like doing crafts together of some sort. Again, I didn't do that on every facility. That was just one facility that they were, wanting me to be very involved in, like doing crafts and activities. And so I would help the activities director. But at the other facility that I was with, like they were, the patient was very, very declined. She unfortunately like just at first she like talked a little bit, but then she declined extremely rapidly, and she just would spend all day sleeping. And so I would just be there with her, sit there with her, watch her, like if she woke up or like, vocalized that she needed something, like I would call, one of the caregivers or something. But it honestly, it varies. What I'm trying to say is that your role varies depending on, one, what the organization wants you to do specifically, two, what the patient wants. Because if the patient, for example, is a very talkative person, yes, that's amazing. You're probably going to be talking to the patient and spending time with them. If they love doing crafts, you're going to be doing crafts. If they don't want that, maybe it's going to just be watching TV, or maybe it's just going to be sitting there and being with them while they sleep. Again, your role varies a lot. And what else would I say? Would I say that I recommend this role? I think that everyone should at least try it one time, but I would not recommend hospice volunteering for everyone. And why is that? For me, it has been a very good experience. It's been an extraordinary experience because it's just been, I love, seeing the difference that I've made in their lives and the difference that they've made in mine. Just being there with them and supporting them and knowing that I'm one of, the, that they haven't had someone to visit them, and just being able to be there and sit there and visit with them and make a difference in their life and in their day. For me, it is worth doing hospice volunteering. But I will say that not everyone should do it. For example, if you do not like talking to people, if you don't like, and again, even though you won't talk to every patient, you still have to interact with people at the facility. You still have to, you might have to interact with their family members. Again, and for the days that they are more active, if they are an active patient, and again, you're not going to choose your patient, so you don't know what you're walking into. So again, if you don't like talking to people, again, it's probably not going to be a good fit for you. Another thing I would say is not only is the interaction component, but again, hospice is because you're dealing with end stages of life. So if you are not comfortable with, seeing someone at their end stage, and again, they can have different diseases. So, I mean, you don't know, how would I say it? Since they are at end stage, it can be very depressing to see them that way. Again, some of these patients, they are bedridden and they can't talk anymore. They can't interact anymore. Maybe they just sleep all day. Or there might be a patient that, for example, they don't know where they are. They'll say, I don't know where I am. This is not my house. I don't live here. Where's my husband or my wife? And their spouse has already passed away years ago. Again, it can be a very sad thing to see, especially if you are a younger premed and you're not used to seeing people in that way. In my case, I'm a caregiver, and so I've been used to that type of thing. But for someone that's fresh and they have never interacted with people that are very declined or used to seeing that, it can be a very hard experience. But yeah, let me know which questions you have in the comments, and thanks again for watching.